All right, so today we're going to take a deep dive into something I'm sure a lot of you have seen going around online.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, so it all has to do with actor Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, Mr. Captain America himself.
Exactly. And, it all stems from a YouTube video I saw.
Okay.
And it's from the Dylan Pierce channel titled Anthony Mackie Just Got Canceled Over This. And then 2 mind-blown emoji.
Oh, wow.
Hashtag Anthony Mackie, hashtag Captain America.
Oh, boy, here we go.
So basically what we're going to be talking about is Mackie's comments about his parenting style and his views on American masculinity.
Yeah, and of course, a huge online reaction, like you were saying.
Yeah, and everything that comes with that toxic masculinity, all that.
Definitely going to be unpacking a lot here. So.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in. So the video starts out with Mackie talking about how he raises his sons.
Right.
And he, he's very adamant that he keeps them humble.
Okay.
He says they don't have Jordans. He doesn't let them do quote-unquote internet fly shit.
Interesting. So a pretty firm approach.
Yeah, no nonsense kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's really interesting is he spends a lot of time talking about how important respect is to him.
I see.
He talks about teaching his sons to say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
Always say thank you, open doors for women, that kind of thing.
Yeah, very traditional manners.
Right, and he's also very clear that his sons need to always care for and provide for their mother.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and he's very upfront about raising them to be men.
Right, from a young age.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into his bigger point about American masculinity.
Yeah, which is where I think things start to get a little more complicated.
Exactly. So Mackie actually says that he tells his 15-year-old son that he's the man of the house.
Oh, wow.
When he's away filming.
Interesting approach.
And he says, it's not about power or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's about making sure the house is safe.
I see.
And teaching his son responsibility and that instinct to protect.
Okay, so almost like giving him a sense of duty.
Yeah. And Mackie's big argument is that all the money and fame means nothing if you can't protect your family.
That's interesting.
And that's where the online reaction gets really divided.
Yeah, as you can imagine.
Because the YouTube video we're talking about actually frames this whole thing as Mackie being canceled.
Canceled, really?
Yeah, and they even call it, quote unquote, the dumbest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And the narrator is basically saying that Mackie's a great dad.
Interesting take.
Yeah, and should be applauded, not criticized.
But that's just one side of the story, right?
Right, because then you have other media outlets who are calling Mackie's comments, you guessed it.
Toxic masculinity.
Bingo. And to be fair, we should at least touch on what that term usually refers to.
Yeah,
because, it's talking about certain traditional masculine norms that can be harmful.
Right, like the idea that men should suppress their emotions or always be dominant or aggressive.
Exactly. And so you have this clash of interpretations where some people see Mackie as instilling these really important values.
Like discipline and responsibility.
Exactly. And then you have others who are worried about the emphasis on traditional roles.
And that idea of protection being so central.
Mm-hmm. And they see that through this lens of outdated or even harmful ideas about masculinity.
Yeah. And it's fascinating how Mackie's own personal choices about raising his sons become this flashpoint for this much bigger conversation about gender roles.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not a simple issue, and it's something that's being debated all over the place right now.
And what's even more interesting is how Mackie brings up that idea of the death of the American male.
Oh, yeah.
Which really resonates with some people.
Yeah, they feel like those traditional masculine values are being lost.
But then others see those same values as the problem.
Right.
It's this really fascinating tension.
So on that note,
I
want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
How do you think someone from a completely different culture...
with completely different ideas about family.
Yeah. And what it even means to be a man.
Right.
How would they interpret Mackie's words?
That's a great question.
It's definitely not a universal conversation.
Not at all.
So thanks for diving into this with us today.
Yeah, this was a good one.
And we'll see you next time.